Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Sodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Ya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parikacharya Satara Sada Shishi Mother's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Premsika Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. Jai Radha Krishna Kubhakobana Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Guruna Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mai Pranavadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Garanga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 72, and this is text number 3. Shri Yudhishthira Uvacha Kratu Rajena Govinda Rajasuyena Pavani Yakshe Vibhuti Birba no Yakshe Vibhutir Bhavatas She Vibhutir Bhavatas Tat Sampadaya Na Prabho Kraturajena Govinda Rajasuyena Pavani Yakshe Vibhutir Bhavatas Tat Sampadaya Na Prabho Kraturajena Govinda Rajasuyena Pavani Yakshe Vibhutir Bhavatas Tat Sampadaya Na Prabho. Kraturajena Govinda Rajasuyena Pavani Yakshe Vibhutir Bhavatas Tat Sampadaya Na Prabho. Shri Yudhishthira Vacha Kraturajena Govinda Rajasuyena Pavani Yakshe Vibhutir Bhavatas Tat Sampadaya Na Prabho. Shri Yudhishthira Vacha Kraturajena Govinda Rajasuyena Pavani Yakshe Vibhutir Bhavatas Last line. You forgot the last line. Last line. What? Last line. Tat. Tat Sampadaya Na Prabho. Shri Yudhishthira Vacha Kraturajena Govinda Rajasuyena Pavani Yakshe Vibhutir Bhavatas Tat Sampadaya Na Prabho. Sri Yudhisthira Vacha. Sri Yudhisthira said, Kratu of major fire sacrifices. Rajena with the king. Govinda, O Krishna. Rajasuyena, named Rajasuya. Pavani, purifying. Yakshe, I wish to worship. Vibhuti, the opulent expansions. Bhavata, of yourself. Tat, that. Sampadaya, please allow to happen. Na, for us. Prabhu, O Master. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. Sri Yudhisthira said, O Govinda, I desire to worship your auspicious, opulent expansions by the Rajasuya sacrifice, the king of Vedic ceremonies. Please make our endeavor a success, my Lord. Please repeat. Sri Yudhisthira said, O Govinda, I desire to worship your auspicious, opulent expansions by the Rajasuya sacrifice, the king of Vedic ceremonies. Please make our endeavors a success, my Lord. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami states that the word vibhuti refers to Lord Krishna's expansions, amshan, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur further explains that here the word vibhuti refers to Lord Krishna's opulent expansions within this world, such as the demigods and other empowered beings. Thus, Srila Prabhupada treats this verse as follows in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Quote, My dear Lord Krishna, the sacrifice known as the Rajasuya Yagna is to be performed by the emperor, and it is considered to be the king of all sacrifices. By performing this sacrifice, I wish to satisfy all the demigods who are your empowered representatives within this material world, and I wish that you will kindly help me in this great adventure so that it may be successfully executed. As far as the Pandavas are concerned, we have nothing to ask from the demigods. We are personally satisfied by your devotees. As you say in the Bhagavad Gita, persons who are bewildered by material desires worship the demigods. But our purpose is different. I want to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice and invite the demigods to show them that that they have no power independent of you. They are all your servants, and you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons with a poor fund of knowledge consider your lordship an ordinary human being. Sometimes they try to find fault in you, and sometimes they defame you. Therefore, I wish to perform the Rajasuya Yagna. I wish to invite all the demigods, beginning from Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all other exalted chiefs of the heavenly planets, and in that great assembly of the demigods from all parts of the universe, I want to substantiate that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that everyone is your servant. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bacharani Nirvasesha Shunyavadi Prasachadeshwari Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bebacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. I'm going to read Jiva Goswami's commentary to add to the understanding. The Rajasuya is called the king of sacrifices since it is difficult to perform. In worshiping devatas during the sacrifice, Yudhisthira understood that they were the Lord's vibhutis. This indicates the full devotion of Yudhisthira to Krishna, though Narada had indicated that Yudhisthira desired the sacrifice to get wealth for worshiping Krishna. With humility, Yudhisthira indicated another reason for the sacrifice. And here's the other reason, and the important reason. The sacrifice will destroy obstacles to bhakti. Being dissatisfied, he said, Govinda, this desire is proper for us devotees, since you have appeared on earth to reveal your unlimited glories. The singular verb is used, though Yudhisthira was not the principal person in the sacrifice. It depended on many persons, such as his brothers and sages. But by your Shakti, this can be accomplished. O capable one, Prabhu, endowed with all powers, I will accomplish this sacrifice because of you. Or you are our master, Prabhu, and we are surrendered to you. Therefore, this sacrifice is suitable. The word that's being a word that's very, very importantly emphasized both in Sridhar Swami's commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, and later on in Jiva Goswami's commentary, is the word vibhuti. Vibhuti here refers to the opulent expansions. If you go to a dictionary, no one goes to dictionaries, but if you go to Google and put in the word vibhuti into the search place, what will come up as the primary meaning of vibhuti is sacred ashes. Ashes made from cow dung or wood or different substances used in India to adorn the body as sacred, oftentimes used by persons who worship Lord Shiva. Vibhuti also refers to the ashes that certain cheating swamis could produce from their hand or some other parts of their body, and which people would then think that they were God, because they were able to produce this vibhuti. They were also able to, produce an apple or something else that they could get from the other room because they had prapti siddhi, which is the ability to move things around. This is not the meaning of vibhuti, not the primary meaning of vibhuti for us as devotees, and really not the primary meaning of vibhuti at all, because vibhuti means the opulences of the Lord. And it actually stated in Bhagavad Gita, 2 verses, in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse 10:19, the first place it's mentioned. You see, Arjuna is asking to see, and the 10th chapter is a very important chapter. You have the 4 seed verses of the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna declares that he's God, and here's why he's God. Then you have the 12th and 13th verses where Arjuna states that he's the highest, param dhamma, anyway, that you get, you're the supreme abode of all the universe, and the great sages say this, so it's not just me saying it, but everybody agrees that you're the personality who's the highest. And then Arjuna starts asking after that, can you show me your opulences in this material world? And so Krishna then says, Hantate katayishyami divya hyatma vibhutaya pradanyata kuru shrestha nastyanto vishtarasyame. You see this word vibhutaya, and actually atma vibhutaya, which means personal opulences. So Krishna says to Arjuna, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. And then Prabhupada says in the purport, it is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. So, it's basically saying these are inconceivable opulences. Then the opulences that Krishna speaks about in the rest of the chapter are really opulences of things within the material world, generally speaking. Of mountains, I am the Himalayas. Of beasts, I am the lion. Of chastisers, I am the rod of chastisement. Of destroyers, I am time. I am all-devouring death. And he says so many different things. He mentions different ways that you can see him in his bhakta as Prahlad, different manifestations. But they're manifestations we can see within the world. He's not talking about Goloka Vrindavan. He's not talking about the Vaikunthas. He's talking about things that are that can be seen here and experienced here. And by the end of the chapter, the second to last verse, Krishna says, Yad yat vivutimat, there it is again, opulences, sattvam, Srimad urjitam evava, tat tat eva gachat eva vagachatvam, mama te jom sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring but from a spark of my splendor. And Prabhupada highlights that by saying any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinarily opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. So here we are. Can I get a glass of water from somebody? So here we are with the understanding of vibhuti as a manifestation of opulences within the material world. And it should be noted in the verse itself that Sridhar Swami says that the vibhuti here refers to Lord Krishna's expansions, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur further explains that the word refers to Lord Krishna's opulent expansions within this world, and such as the demigods and empowered beings. And that is the primary reason that most of the time that the Rajasuya sacrifice is done. It's done because the king or emperor wants to become empowered in the material world and wants to please demigods for material goals. That's the general rule. And then, Prabhupada speaks here in the Krishna book. By performing this sacrifice, I wish to satisfy all the demigods who are your empowered representatives within this material world. And I wish that you will kindly help me in this great adventure so that it may be successfully executed. So this is the standard understanding of why anyone in this material world who's pious and religious is performing their religious duties, is to, what does it say here? Help me in this great adventure, the great adventure of life. I want to be a great business magnate. I want a beautiful wife, a handsome husband. I want kids who are like going to make me proud. I want to have lots of money so that I don't have to ever worry about things like paying bills. I'd like to be known as a nice person. In fact, I'd like to be a nice person. I'm going to give money to charities, and I'm going to do also, and this, and you know, of course, it also becomes variously warped into really bad things. I'd like to be the most powerful person in the world and be able to bomb people anywhere I want. You know, there's so many variations, but it's all about me. Oh God, please give me something. You know, I'm going to be really, you know, pious and worship you for me. And that's, generally speaking, if you're an emperor, that's what you're all about. The kings of this world, generally speaking, and they sometimes in Europe were called, they referred to the fact that they had divine right, the divine right of kings to enjoy this world and to rule over their subjects in ways which weren't very helpful to the subjects. And it's not like King Yudhisthira or Parikshit Maharaj who are able to give every person, not just person, but every living entity within their kingdom protection, so that they could be could happily live in this world. But Yudhisthira then goes on to say that actually, you know, I'm not really interested in that. I'm not interested in that. Therefore, I wish to perform he says that, therefore, I wish to perform the Rajasuya Yajna. I wish to invite all the demigods, beginning from Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other exalted chiefs of the heavenly planets, and in that great assembly of the demigods from all parts of the universe, I want to substantiate that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that everyone is your servant. So this is the goal of a devotee, is to glorify the Lord in whatever the devotee does. You know, it can be seen sometimes, Prabhupada used to use the example that a person who's selling books for a material, you know, endeavor has a certain appearance, a certain attitude, a certain way of doing things that may appear to be very similar to a person selling books that are like Prabhupada's books, spiritual books. But the purpose behind the activity is completely different. And therefore, the really unfortunate situation in this world is that they actually people who may want to be on a spiritual path can't get to that spiritual path, real spiritual path, because they don't even know it exists. They see only the external purposes of religious activity. And Krishna refers to this, and actually it's referred to in the tikas and the purport about, you know, where Prabhupada writes. He's quoting verses from the 7th chapter, and I'm going to quote a few of these verses here, where it talks about the foolishness of trying to worship demigods. And let's be honest here, no one in the West believes in demigods. They don't even understand they're demigods. They may say things like Mother Nature, but that's just, you know, sort of like a cliche. And they think that, you know, the gods or the demigods, you know, they're just mythological beings. They don't really exist. They only exist in the minds of less intelligent people. So they don't worship demigods, but they worship God like he's a demigod. In other words, as Prabhupada would say, God is my order supplier. I mean, you know, who else can I go to? When I'm in a desperate situation and my mother's about to, you know, die of something, and the doctors don't have any answers, then I have to go to someone who might have answers, who's that unknown personality who controls the whole universe and who can fulfill all our desires. And our desires are material. I'll go to him. So, but Krishna, not Prabhupada, Krishna says, this is verse 20 of the 7th chapter, those whose intelligence has been stolen by what? Material desires. Surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. So people are worshiping demigods and following rules and sincerely trying to, appease or please God in order to get the only thing they can understand, which is maybe peace on earth or happiness some way or other. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, less intelligent people. Now, when we say less intelligent, we don't mean material intelligence. There's a lot of very intelligent people, scientists, philosophers, etc., who, by the material calculations, they're intelligent. But here we speak about less intelligent means they don't have a clue about who God is really and what the purpose of life is really. Less intelligent people who have lost their spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desires. Generally, such people do not go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are in the lower modes of nature, ignorance and passion, and therefore worship various demigods. And as I say, in the West, it won't be demigods, it'll be this understanding that God is the order supplier. I need something. I want something good to happen in this world. Well, nothing really in this world is good. Really. It's like saying, I want to make the prison house, I'm going to paint the walls of the prison house and supply a new ping pong table for those good prisoners who get a little time out. So it's not really helping. And we can turn now to verse number 23, where it's stated, men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. I was listening to a class the other day by Indradumna Swami, and he was speaking in India on Christmas Day, actually, and so he was talking about Jesus Christ, and he was, he's speaking to a mainly non-Christian audience, so he's trying to explain a little bit about Christianity and about Christ's position, and what Prabhupada says about Jesus Christ, and it was a nice class to kind of inform persons outside the Western culture about Christianity. But then he went on to say, he talked about how Christ was like an empowered person, coming, Shaktavish avatar, etc. But then he went on to say that, and he used Prabhupada's letters and comments to say that he was asked a question, where do, he also had a mention of Muslims too, in a separate, but where do Christians and Muslims who are actually following their religion and are pious, what's their final destination? And Prabhupada said, they go to Swargaloka. Because they have no other information about anything else about God, and they don't understand, they don't even know what a spiritual world is. The only place they can go, which they call heaven, is Swarga. And it fills their bill, They always, Christians or others, they will say, they'll go to heaven, and they enjoy there. There's no mention of God being there, because he isn't really there directly. So, it's all about a place I can enjoy forever. Well, you can't quite enjoy forever, but you can enjoy for a while. And it is a reward for some good activities in this world. Prabhupada writes in part of the purport here near the end, the results achieved by the demigods' benedictions are perishable, because within this material world, the planets, the demigods, and their worshippers are all perishable. Therefore, it is clearly stated in this verse that all results achieved by worshiping demigods are perishable, and therefore such worship is performed by the less intelligent living entity. Now, Prabhupada does say, because the pure devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness in devotional service of the Supreme Lord achieves eternal blissful existence, that is full of knowledge. His achievements and those of the common worshiper of the demigods are different. So, what are the achievements received by those who follow the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Well, here is it is alluded to at the end of this purport. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. His favor is unlimited. His mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon the pure devotee, his pure devotee, is unlimited. And what is that unlimited mercy? Is that we can ultimately realize our constitutional position. What is our constitutional position? Our constitutional position is to be a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord of the Gopis. So we should be seeing, as we advance in Krishna consciousness, that we become more and more attached to Krishna's spiritual energy, which is ultimately his relationship and his pastimes and his form, his relationship with devotees, his pastimes, his form, and all the different aspects of his eternal existence in Goloka Vrindavan. Of course, there's two, the spiritual world is divided into different sections. One is the Aishvarya Dham, which is Vaikuntha, where God is really God and we're really servants, but distantly. But in Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna's that nice boy who I play with in the cowherd, as a cowherd boy, or the lover of the gopis, or the naughty son of Yashoda. These are the different, and he's not, how can he be God? But he is God because everything we get from him. But how do we get there? What is it? What's the device by which we can actually become free from the entanglement with this material world? And when I say we, we're a little more fortunate because we've kind of already understood. But what's the device where we can actually break through to others? Because, it's like people are locked in this darkness. And there's no way out. It's like hermetically sealed, this Brahmanda. It's darkness. So a ray of Vishnu or a light has to come in to actually guide one away from material endeavors. Well, the answer actually is given by the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Lord himself, Lord Chaitanya. And that answer is ultimately, in this day and age, Harinam Sankirtan. And I mean it in a broad sense. I mean, sometimes we can't go on Harinam, but it means the holy name. And it means to give the holy name wherever we can, whether it's a big group, small group, whatever group. So Prabhupada's writing or speaking in a lecture in Hyderabad in 1974. And here he says this. So this Krishna conscious movement, it is nothing of this material world. This Hare Krishna mantra, it is also not any vibration of this material world. In other words, if you're going to get out of someplace, someone's got to throw you a rope to get out. And so Krishna consciousness provides that rope. And that rope has to be provided by an external force. And this external force is the spiritual energy. There is a verse by Narottam Das Thakur, Goloka Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. This Harinam Sankirtan is vibration from the spiritual world. Okay. It's like a little light that penetrates. Or it's a little bit like the leak in the dike. the wall against, the water, the dike or a levee. A little leak comes through. Oh, there's the water. Right behind that, if that leak grows, there's going to be a deluge of the water, the deluge of spiritual understanding. So that Harinam, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, that Harinam coming into the ear of the conditioned soul is like that leak in the dike of material existence. And maybe they go plug it up again, but it may leak somewhere else. So the idea being is that we all came that way, one way or another. We heard the holy name. Let's continue here. This Harinam Sankirtan is vibration from the spiritual world. Just like you receive some message, vibration of material world from Europe, from America. So that is not Indian vibration, but American vibration or European vibration. Similarly, there is vibration in the spiritual world. Simply one has to catch. You must have that machine. So that machine is there within you. The heart is the machine where you can receive the spiritual message, because within the heart there is Narayan. The supersoul within the heart of every conditioned living being is there trying to get that living being to turn away from material life. And if one doesn't have any understanding that there's anything beyond material life, a vague understanding that there's a heaven or something, we know very clearly material energy is separate from spiritual energy. But you can hear other people talk about spiritual things, and it's just mushy because they don't know the difference between one and the other. So the answer is in the heart. That Prabhupada says Narayan here, but it's super soul. So if the soul, the conditioned soul, hears the Harinam, that may wake them up enough that they may be able to hear something from the super soul at one point or another. Like maybe it happened to us. Maybe I should go look into this. Get a book, get a magazine. Is there a temple around? I can go. Oh, is this Mama? Something. And it may not happen immediately right there on the spot, but it's guaranteed to happen. Because light always overcomes darkness. So, and this is what Prabhupada's, this is the motto of the Back to Godhead. Nescience is darkness, Godhead is light. Where there is light, there is no darkness. Or where there is Godhead, there is no nescience. So you have a dark room, you bring one little piece of light in, the room lights up. Light, spiritual energy, is transcendental to the material energy, will always defeat the material energy as long as it gets in. Material energy can never defeat the spiritual energy. No one can bring a box in here of darkness and open it up and the room gets dark. As soon as they open up that box, the box gets light. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Adipurusham Kamaham Bhajami Govindam Purusham Tamaham Bhajamin Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajamin Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundaranam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Asa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Jeev Jago Gora Chandra Mole Kota Nidra Jaya Maya Pita Chiring Mole Kota Nidra Jaya Maya Pita Chiring Mole Baji Bo Bolia Eshe Samsara Bitore Boli Bo Bolia Eshe Samsara Bitore Bulia Rohile to me Avidyarabare Bulia Rohile to me Avidyarabare Tomare Loite Ami Hoinu Avatara Tomare Loite Ami Hoinu Avatara Ami Bina Bandhu Ara Keache Tamara Ami Bina Bandhu Ara Keache Tamara Che Ashaudi Maya Nashi Baralagi Neche Saudi Maya Nashi Barlagi Harinama Maha Mantra loud to me Magi Harinama Maha Mantra loud to me Magi Bhakti Vinoda Prabhu Charane Pariya Bhakti Vinoda Prabhu Charane Pariya Harinama Maha Mantra Loilo Magiya Say Harinama Mantra Loilo Magiya Say Harinama Mantra Loilo Magiya Say Harinama Mantra Loilo Magiya Jeev Jago Jeev Jago Gaura Chandra Bole Jeev Jago Jeev Jago Gaura Chandra Bole Kota Nidra Jayo Maya Picha Shira Kole Kota Nidra Jayo Maya Picha Kole Harinama Maha Mantra loud to me Magi Harinama Maha Mantra loud to me Magi Say Harinama Mantra Loilo Magiya Say Harinama Mantra Loilo Magiya Haribo 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo Nitai Gaur Haribo 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo Vapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Bharati Jayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tororapi Suhishuna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishameva Vambudao Kripayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vachintaya Nayanam Galadashu Daraya Varanam Gadgadarudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahaneva Vishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishya Vapadamritam Banastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatu Lampato Matpranatastuda Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energy, your hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Sri Shastastika Ki Jai. Thank you, Santosh Prabhu, for addressing the deities. You're always up there on the altar. doing the service for their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Golokananda. And downstairs we've got Chaitanya Mataji and Mahamantra Prabhu making a nice offering to the deities. And to
Birthday.
and Divir. Thank you, Divir, for being down there. I saw you with an apron on. And it's happy birthday to Leela Shakti Mataji and Rishikesh Prabhu. And Mother Chaitanya. So it's a triple day, and it's also St. Patrick's Day, so it must be some kind of pious thing going on here. Haribo.